All right, so now you are ready for your command upgrade. You've been probably flying for a couple of years. You have a couple of thousand hours under your belt, and all of a sudden, here comes one of the trainers, or maybe your chief pilot, or some other colleague, and tells you, hey man, I think you're ready. I think you should do this. And now you start worrying, how am I going to go about the command upgrade process? You hear stories, you hear guys, and they are studying so much, and you hear other guys and they're having maybe success stories, others maybe not as successful. So what do you do then? So I want to talk to you guys about the 80-20 rule and how it applies for studying for your command upgrade. Now, when you guys are going about your command upgrade studies, probably the first thing that goes through your mind is how I'm going to read and how I'm going to memorize all these manuals, and how is all this knowledge going to pair up with the responsibility that I'm about to undertake. The command upgrade process is not easy, and it's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be challenging because it is a great responsibility that you will be undertaking. So how are you going to go by the massive amount of FCOM knowledge, FCTM procedures, and standard operating procedures that probably your company has in place in order to maximize your results in this command upgrade process? Well, you will apply the 80-20 rule. Remember, during your entire career, you've been doing a lot of work. You've been studying, you've been going to the simulator, and you already passed the type rating of your particular aircraft. This means that most of the groundwork is already done. What you need to do now that you're undertaking this big challenge is maximizing your efforts towards this 20%. The 80-20 rule means that 20% of your efforts will create 80% of your results. So by directing your attention towards the most important and key parts of your knowledge and skills and applying discipline as you're going about this, you will maximize the 80% of your results, meaning your simulator, interview, and other assessments that you will have to probably do as you're going onwards on your command training will be completed successfully. Now, what is that 20% that we're talking so much about? Well, first of all, focus on your systems and scenarios. Try to use maybe tools like a Microsoft Flight Simulator, or if you have access to an FSTD, try to use that as well. Focus mostly on memory items and limitations. Try to worry about maybe what will happen if you lose major systems. Instead of studying, item by item of the QRH, think, what will happen if I lose an entire transfer bus? Or if I was to lose the hydraulic system A plus the standby? Or any other critical scenarios that you know probably will be tested upon on your command upgrade simulator process. Also, try to hone your skills. You need to be an expert on flying. If you want to go by and have a successful command upgrade training, you must be an expert on B1 cuts, single engine go-arounds, rapid depressurization, and many more of the maneuvers that are listed probably on your QRH. Step number 2, try to focus your efforts into developing your captaincy. That means try to worry about managing more than actually just accomplishing tasks. Now, you can do that very easily on your day-to-day operations. As you see other captains, the way they go by their decision making, try to imitate that and even try to take some ownership in certain procedures. Maybe try to take some responsibility on key things, maybe deciding the fuel numbers or making sure that certain briefings are accomplished properly. All of this will show not only initiative, but will develop your skills in order to manage more and more complex situations, which will be extremely necessary as a captain. When you're a first officer, most of the time you're there and you're helping and you're using your CRM skills in order to intervene and assist and maintain the safety of the aircraft. But there's always a little bit that can be done, and that is that 20%. And this brings me to the last part, which is the manuals. Prioritize the key manuals. Well, to be more exact, prioritize the key information on those manuals. Things like the FCTM, that explains the how and why we do things. Probably your company has standard operating procedures, and the FCOM already states the things that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. but the FCTM will give you the basis onto the how and why you do things. This means that as a commander, you must know this by heart. The FCTM will be extremely necessary, so maybe prioritizing this 20% of your reading and memorization skills towards that will be paramount for your success onwards. Limitations. As a captain, you must be a master of the knowledge of those limitations. Every single limitation. I would highlight those in color red and try to make separate notes of only limitations in order to ensure maximum memorization of those. And finally, you must have a very good knowledge of the QRH, because the QRH will be your survival guide into the simulator and in real life. So knowledge of this key manual will determine your success. And that goes without saying. Probably you already know this, but you must be an expert on standard operating procedures. You must follow procedures. You must be a very standardized person, especially on those first few thousands of hours when you're developing your management skills and your captain skills are just starting to develop. And well, those are my few moments of knowledge. I want to wish you all much of luck in your upcoming processes. And if you're already a captain, please make sure to share your key tips and comments on how did you manage to be successful on this very important and key step of our career. Thank you very much, guys. Like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.